If RV setup feels confusing, we've got you. This is exactly what you need to see before your first setup.
Come on in, y'all.
Alrighty. When you pull into an RV park, head to the office first to check in, pay, and to get a map to your site. If you arrive after they close, they'll usually leave everything out for you, but definitely call ahead to confirm that. Hi.
Code. This is the emergency number, and this is our office number. We're here till 4:30 every day.
Smooth check-in, no issues, ready to go to our site. What site are we at?
51.
All right, let's head that way.
All right.
This is our site. This is a huge site. Very nice view from this site too. As you're pulling up to your site, take it slow and double check your map. Some campgrounds have one-way roads and it's really easy to miss your turn. You'll want to pull past your site and back in like we're doing here. This can honestly be one of the most stressful parts of setting up your camper, especially in campgrounds where the roads are tight and space is limited. Luckily, this one had plenty of room to work with. Before you start backing up, have your partner hop out and help guide you in. They can watch for things you can't see, like the picnic tables, trees, fire rings, or anything else that might be in the way. You'll also want to keep an eye on where your hookups are. Make sure you're backing in close enough to the electrical posts, the water, and sewer so that your cords and hoses will actually reach. Take your time, make small adjustments, and remember, everybody was new at this once, and it gets easier every time. I think it looks good. You might want to get out and check and see what you think, but I think it looks good. We've got room for the slide and looks good to me. You ready to get out, little dog? Once you're in your spot, the next step is checking if you're level side to side. Use a level on the front of the camper to see where you're at. If you're off, you need to pull up onto some leveling blocks to even things out. But at this campground, the concrete pad was perfectly level, which made it easy. Gotta put the chocks in. I got these new kind of chalks. We feel like they're super fancy.
Amazon's your friend.
Amazon's your friend. These work out really well. Gotta do that, make sure that the trailer doesn't roll. Chalking has to come quickly. Open up the door handle, the door, and we gotta put the steps down.
Side to side, we're good.
Nope. Like that.
Chocking wheels.
After you've made sure you're level side to side and you've chalked your wheels so that it won't roll away, now you're ready to take the camper off of the truck. Okay, these are, what are these things called even?
Just leveling blocks.
Leveling blocks, yeah. We've had these like a million years. We just recently added to our collection and got more of them, but these hold up forever. We use the leveling blocks to put underneath the jack stand, just so you don't have to push it down quite as far.
When your camp spot, if it's not level side to side, you have to use some of these under a wheel to get it level side to side. This is a concrete pad that's pretty level. I checked it when I backed up and side to side with my level, and it looks good. So now we're ready to take it off the truck.
But in most campgrounds, you're gonna have to level and put some of these leveling blocks underneath a tire so that it'll lift up one side and make it taller. We didn't have to do that here though.
First thing I want to do is pick it up a little bit to ease some tension on the sway bars. Or on, not sway bars, the distribution bars. Then I gotta find the tool.
You may not have these bars on your vehicle if you have like a bigger vehicle. We put them to help distribute the weight of the camper on the truck. And so now we are removing these bars off the camper because you don't leave those on there. So now we got to take those off. That's the next step. But if you don't have those on your vehicle, then you will just skip that step. Before you pull your truck out, don't forget to disconnect your trailer lights and finish extending your front jack. This takes the weight off the hitch so you can safely pull forward. This has nothing to do with the camper, but we've been traveling a while and our little dog needs some water. So I'm gonna get her some water while we do this. Oh. I got you some water, Oakley. Are you thirsty? There you go, girl. Her's thirsty. I saw it going down. I hope it didn't break. He just pulled up. We are disconnected from the truck. Now we're ready to do the rest of the camper stuff. All right, checking right here to see if we're level. And he will let that down until this bubble gets in the center so we can check and see. It's moving. Almost. A little bit more. All right, right there. And that was checking the level to make sure from front to back we're level. Next, put down your stabilizer jacks. There's one on each corner. This keeps your camper from rocking. And nobody wants that, if you know what I mean.
This camper sits pretty high, so we like to put a few blocks under the jack so they don't have to go down so far, because if they go down all the way till they're stretched all the way out, you lose a good bit of the stability. If this closes up, the farther this closes, the less stability they offer. So,
and you may have a camper where you have to actually twist this by hand, and we could do that too, but we use the drill just to speed it up. Once everything's level and stabilized, we're ready to connect to power and water to get things up and running. Our power cord, this is our adapter.
surge guard.
It's a what?
That's a surge protector.
Surge protector. I call it an adapter. This thingy, you gotta have one. This goes in this little box. This would be a 50 amp and a 30 amp, right?
Yep.
And we need 30
In this camper, we need a 30.
We need a 30 amp. I don't feel very tight.
Guess you hadn't pushed it in.
There we go. This goes in here, and then this twist just keeps the rainwater out. Your camera.
And the plug held in.
Yeah, keeps it held in so it doesn't pull out. Keeps it protected. Boom. And then this.
Pull that adapter off.
This goes off. This is in case you need if you're going from 30 to 50, then you need this adapter. But since this has a 30 amp
thingy, and our plug at home is a 50.
So sometimes you need a 50, but this is going 30 to 30.
Now then, turn the breaker on.
Breaker. It's on.
You can see on our protector, we got green lights, so we're all good. Power is on.
Power's on, and we're ready for water.
This is a pressure regulator. Very important in a campground because some have just extremely high water pressure, and your plumbing is rated to no more than 60 pounds, I think is typical in an RV.
And this campground specifically said you have to have a pressure regulator because they have really high pressure at this campground. So but you can get them on Amazon or wherever.
we got a new filter. We try to change this pretty regularly, at least once a season. So a new filter, and before you can put a new filter in service, the first thing you must do is do a little flush out of it. So we're going to attach it. You can see we've got a regulator, little short hose to our filter. Before we attach the water hose to the camper, we're going to flush our new filter. And you will see why most likely when we turn it on, because it should be pretty black because it's a charcoal filter.
Ew,
See?
yucky. You would not want to drink that.
You want to turn a new filter on. Now, after you've done this once, you're good, but you want to turn a new filter on long enough to get the black flushed out. Should be good.
All right, it's running clear, so we're good to go. We keep those for a whole camping season, and then we replace those. We'll have a link so that a link to one if you want to grab it off of Amazon.
Some people hang the filter at the side of the RV. I prefer not to. And the main reason I prefer not to is I don't like the extra weight hanging on this plastic fitting. So next thing I'll do is turn the water on to fill the hose so we don't have near as much air inside.
Hey, there it comes. It doesn't seem like a lot of water pressure. Seems pretty wimpy, actually.
Yes, it does. And we're leaking a little right here. I don't know if that's my leak or theirs. Well, it's not turned off in the meter. Well, here we go. Look at that.
Ooh, is that mold?
That came from wherever we were last time. We gotta clean that up.
Gracious. Looks like sand. What in the world? I've never seen that. Gross. Whatever that is feels like grease. Ooh, look at that.
Don't know.
That's nasty. You don't want to drink that.
Got it cleaned up. It felt like a Vaseline substance on it. I don't know if that, where we were before, we had an old filter. I don't know if that was the insides of the filter turning loose or what. But anyway, now we got a brand new filter, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. Now you can see we have a clean strainer.
All right, we got all this part set up. Now we're ready to move to the inside. Okay, going inside to see how things look from the trip. And you can see that one of the drawers didn't stay in. These don't want to stay in, so we keep these shoes pushed under. It's trying to kind of wedge it. But while we traveled, it came open. I'm going to take that loose. And I'm sure there's actually probably some straps that would do a better job at that. Okay, and on the inside, what we need to do is we had everything you have to kind of secure everything or put it so that it don't slide around while you travel. We put a lot of stuff in the sink just to keep it from falling off the cabinets. So just kind of put that stuff back, put the soaps and things back where they go, turn on the water to get the air out, and the antifreeze. Last time when we camped, when we had the camper put up, it was cold, so we had it full of antifreeze. So I got to run this until the water's clear. Get the air out and the antifreeze in here. Soaps up. Let that run until it's clear. And in the shower, we keep everything in a basket. so that because it won't ride up here. If you put stuff on the shelves here, it'll all fall off. So we keep it in a basket in the floor. Turn the water on here to get all the antifreeze out. And once it's summertime and you're just using your camper all the time, you won't have to do that. You won't have to clear out all that. You just need to get the air out of the lines and you'll be ready to go. All right, everything looks pretty good in here. Turn all the waters back off. Water's clear. And in here, water's clear. Should it go there? Oakley's already gotten comfortable. Chilling out. You like this campground, Oakley? All right, we gotta get the sewer hooked up. That's kind of the last step outside.
And I want to show you the greatest invention in modern RV sewer history, maybe ever. First, we got to get the hose out. Check out this new, I think it's made by whoever makes gator hoses or whatever, but check this guy out. This is the greatest invention in RV sewer history. See that? Flow view. Watch how easy this goes in. Most everywhere else, you have to have this screw-in adapter like that, screws into your hub, and if they don't have threads, you have to use one of these and make sure you seal it up, those rubber gaskets. And then recently they have made this. Snap your hose in it.
That fast it snaps in.
Pull your thing up, poke it in the hole, and it's locked in.
Woo.
Done.
Now that is fast. That's such an improvement. Well, this little thing that he's putting it on, this little, slinky, we call it a slinky, I don't know what it's actually called, makes it so that the gravity can go from the camper down to the drain and you don't have any parts that's like gets stuck. Like that right there. So water and poo and whatever else would get stuck right there. So you put it up on these so that it's got a steady flow down. And he just put that in and twisted it. And our sewer is hooked up. Now this stays
Closed. That's black. That's gray. Gray water you leave open.
Gray water would be like shower and kitchen sink. Black water is the toilet water. And you keep it closed until you got a lot of pee and stuff so that when you open it, it'll kind of gush all out together. If you leave it open, then stuff gets stuck in it. So you have to leave it closed until, after a day or so, then you open it and it all goes out together. But the gray water, since it's just shower and sink, you can leave it open all the time. Now we're ready to put the slide out, and I think we're totally set up. We're almost done, girl. Almost finished. Gotta go put the slide out. Lights on. Slide extension. Press that. And then slide will go out until it's flush with the wall. You can kind of just hear it kind of make that grinding noise. You know it's closed. If you want the awning out, awning extend. It's going out. There we go. Setup complete.